So you're all very fuzzy. Just to let you know that
That's
now.
probably easier that way.
It actually is.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't lean on that. So, over the last weeks, we've each been meeting once a week to come together and improve our social skills. And for some of us, we've made some really significant breakthroughs. I can say, home, your ending S's are now better. And Rob, you definitely deliver speeches a little bit less shaky. But for a lot of kids, that's actually not that easy to learn those social skills. Statistics of 2011 is there was a reported 84,707 students in special needs programs throughout Oregon. That is a 3% increase in the last 3 years, but there are only 3 schools in the Portland area that actually specialize for special needs programs. So you may have like a lot of classes like high schools that actually have those programs there, but they're only going to have like 14, 16 kids and 2 teachers, when really those kids need one-on-one interaction. Camp Yakety Yak is a summer camp that focuses on growing social skills and communication skills with kids with special needs. So the camp, we meet actually quite a bit. I am one of the counselors there. We meet every single day, Monday through Friday, from 10:30 to 3:30, and we go through we have a whole curriculum of teaching kids with special needs how to interact in social skills. So we may be going outside and playing games, just teaching them how to go up to a friend and say, hey, I want to play basketball with you. Or maybe sitting in a classroom and saying, I'm uncomfortable being here because there's so much going on. But for those kids, it's not that easy. The campers, like I said, have several different learning disabilities. My one-on-one camper is autistic, and for him just to say that he's uncomfortable is a really hard thing to do. He breaks down and he'll just sit down in the corner of a room and he gets really upset. So it's really hard to know that these kids go back to the regular schools at the end of the year and they're not going to have that one-on-one attention that they get at the camp. Most of the counselors, like myself, are volunteers. There are a bunch of also SLPs, which is a speech language pathologist, which is actually what I'm considering going off to do now. Which those guys they're there, and most of them have master's degrees, so they're expensive to be there. Whereas the rest of us volunteers are just there to help out where we can. But how they actually pay for these SLPs is, it is $900 a week to send your kids to Camp Yakety Yak because of the one-on-one care that we have to give those kids and how many people we need there, how much food we need, supplies. Last camp we had about 60 campers. So for every camper we have to have a one-on-one too. So they try and entice volunteers like myself with stipends. So if there's like outstanding volunteers, they do give us a paycheck at the end of our time there. But we really don't have the money to do that anymore, so we're losing a lot of volunteers as well. The need for the camp is, like I said, it's $900 a week to send your kid there, and a lot of these kids are there throughout the entire summer. Their parents have regular jobs, and they can't be at home with their kids the entire time, and they have to be somewhere where they can get the need and care that they have. So scholarships are awarded, but the only way we have our scholarship fund is from donations. So the more donations we collect throughout the year, the more scholarships we're allowed to award, so that way we don't have to turn any kids away. In fact, we haven't turned any kids away. There's a lot of the kids there right now that are there on scholarships. And it just takes away from the amount of SLPs we can hire, how many volunteers will go and work, and there's definitely a need for these kids to be there and also to get the donations as well. So if you can donate to Camp Yakety Yak, you're going to make sure that we're going to still have SLPs there working with these kids. They're going to get the attention they need, and we're still going to have our one-on-ones, so these guys can just learn how to communicate, something that we all take for granted.